Welcome back, Rare Coin Insider. Imagine holding a small, ordinary-looking coin in your hand, something so common that most people would ignore it completely, maybe even toss it aside without a second thought. Yet hidden within this tiny piece of metal is a story that stretches across decades, a story of history, craftsmanship, rarity, and the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even a single cent can spark curiosity and, in rare cases, reach astonishing values that seem almost unbelievable. Today, we are diving deep into the mysterious and captivating world of the 1-cent USA 1979 D coin, a coin that at first glance appears simple, but when examined closely, reveals layers of detail that collectors and enthusiasts find irresistible. The 1979 D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, which is represented by the small but important D mint mark stamped on the coin. This tiny letter carries significant meaning because it tells us exactly where the coin was produced, and for collectors, mint marks can often determine rarity and value. The Denver Mint has a long and rich history of producing coins for the United States, and each coin that comes from this facility carries with it a legacy of precision and craftsmanship. The D mint mark on the 1979 penny is usually located just below the date on the obverse side, and spotting it instantly tells a collector that this is not just any ordinary penny, but one that belongs to a specific minting origin. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of this coin, which is one of the most iconic and recognizable designs in the world. On the front, or obverse side, you will find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than symbolic imagery. The portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner, and even in 1979, decades after its introduction, it continued to be used, proving how timeless and respected this design truly is. Above Lincoln's head, you will see the word Liberty, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," is inscribed along the top edge. The year, 1979, appears just to the right of Lincoln's portrait, accompanied by the small D mint mark. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, you will notice the classic wheat ears design is no longer present, as it was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial design. The reverse of the 1979 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., a symbol of unity and respect for one of America's greatest leaders. If you look very closely, you can even see a tiny depiction of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, a remarkable detail considering the small size of the coin. The words, "United States of America," curve along the top edge, while "E pluribus unum" is displayed above the memorial, and 1 cent is boldly written along the bottom. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1979 D penny has a standard weight of approximately 3.11 grams. It is composed primarily of copper, specifically 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, which was the standard composition for pennies before the major change in 1982, when the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition. This means that the 1979 D penny belongs to the era of heavier, more solid copper coins, which many collectors prefer due to their durability and classic feel. The diameter of the coin is about 19 millimeters, and it has a smooth edge, unlike coins such as quarters or dimes that have reeded edges. Now, here is where things start to get truly interesting. While millions of these coins were minted in 1979 at the Denver Mint, making them generally common in circulation, certain rare variations and errors can transform an ordinary penny into something incredibly valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for unique features such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual minting defects that make a coin stand out from the rest. These rare error coins can fetch significantly higher prices in the market, sometimes reaching thousands or even millions of dollars depending on their uniqueness and condition. The idea that a 1979 D penny could be worth up to $217 million might sound shocking, and for most coins, this value would be unrealistic. However, in the world of numismatics, extreme values are often tied to extremely rare circumstances, such as one-of-a-kind mint errors, historical significance, or coins with unusual compositions that were never meant to enter circulation. These are the types of coins that become legendary among collectors, sparking debates, excitement, and intense bidding wars whenever they appear in auctions. Condition also plays a crucial role in determining the value of a coin. A coin that has been well preserved, with minimal wear and strong, sharp details, is far more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor condition to mint state, and even a small difference in grade can lead to a huge difference in value. For example, a 1979 D penny in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but the same coin in pristine, uncirculated condition with a high grade could be worth significantly more to collectors. Collectors also pay close attention to the color of copper coins. Over time, copper can change color due to oxidation, resulting in shades ranging from bright red to brown. Coins that retain their original red color are often more desirable and valuable because they indicate minimal exposure to air and handling. A bright red 1979 D penny in mint condition is far more appealing than a dull brown one that has been heavily circulated. Another fascinating aspect of this coin is its place in history. The late 1970s were a time of economic challenges in the United States, including inflation and changes in metal prices. These factors would eventually lead to changes in coin composition in the early 1980s, making pre-1982 copper pennies, like the 1979 D, even more interesting to collectors today. They represent the end of an era when coins were made with a higher percentage of valuable metal, giving them intrinsic value beyond their face value. As we continue to explore the mystery and allure of the 1979 D penny, it becomes clear that what appears to be a simple coin can actually hold incredible depth and significance. From its design and composition to its history and potential rarity, every detail adds to its story, making it a fascinating subject for collectors and enthusiasts alike. As we continue deeper into the world of the 1979 D Lincoln cent, it becomes even more fascinating when we begin to understand how rarity is not always about how many coins were made, but rather how many unique or unusual examples have survived over time. The Denver Mint actually produced billions of pennies in 1979, which means that in general circulation, this coin is extremely common. However, what separates an ordinary coin from an extraordinary one is often a tiny detail that most people would overlook, something that only a trained eye or an experienced collector would notice immediately. One of the most important aspects that can dramatically increase the value of a 1979 D penny is the presence of minting errors. These errors occur during the production process and can include doubled dies, where the design appears duplicated due to a misalignment during the striking process, or off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned when it is struck, leaving part of the design missing. There are also cases of clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to an issue with the metal blank before it was struck, and even rare transitional errors where a coin may have been struck on the wrong type of metal. These types of errors are highly sought after because they are unpredictable and extremely rare. While millions of standard coins may exist, only a handful of error coins might ever be discovered, and this scarcity is what drives their value to incredible levels. Collectors are willing to pay large sums of money to own a piece that is truly one of a kind, something that stands out in a collection and tells a unique story about the minting process. Another factor that adds to the allure of the 1979 D penny is the concept of die varieties. Over time, the dies used to strike coins can develop small differences due to wear, polishing, or slight changes in the engraving. These variations might be subtle, such as differences in the spacing of letters, the thickness of lines, or small marks that appear consistently on coins from a particular die. Dedicated collectors spend countless hours studying these details, cataloging them, and searching for specific varieties that are known to be rare. The grading of coins is another critical element that determines their value. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on their condition, assigning them a grade that reflects their level of preservation. A coin that has never been circulated and retains all of its original details and luster can achieve a mint state grade, often abbreviated as MS, followed by a number between 60 and 70. A coin graded MS-70 is considered perfect, with no visible flaws even under magnification, and such coins are incredibly rare. For the 1979 D penny, achieving a high mint-state grade can significantly increase its value, especially if the coin also has a strong, vibrant red color. Collectors often categorize copper coins into three color groups: red, red-brown, and brown. Red coins are the most desirable because they retain their original mint luster, while brown coins are the least valuable due to oxidation and wear over time. A 1979 D penny that is both high grade and fully red can command a premium price in the collector's market. Now, when we talk about the possibility of a 1979 D penny reaching an astonishing value like $217 million, we are entering the realm of extreme rarity and speculation. Such a value would likely be associated with a truly unique coin, perhaps one with an unprecedented error or a historical significance that sets it apart from all others. In the world of coin collecting, there have been cases where rare coins have sold for millions of dollars, driven by intense competition among collectors and investors who recognize the importance of owning a piece of history that may never appear again. It is also important to understand the psychology behind coin collecting. For many collectors, it is not just about the monetary value of a coin, but the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovering something rare, and the satisfaction of building a collection that reflects years of dedication and knowledge. The 1979 D penny, despite its common appearance, becomes a symbol of this pursuit, reminding collectors that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary potential. The market for coins is constantly evolving, influenced by factors such as demand, economic conditions, and trends within the collecting community. Auctions play a significant role in determining the value of rare coins, as they provide a platform where collectors can compete for ownership. When a particularly rare or unique coin is offered for sale, it can attract attention from around the world, leading to bidding wars that drive the price higher and higher. Another interesting aspect to consider is the role of certification and authentication. In order for a coin to achieve a high value, it must be verified by a reputable grading service to ensure that it is genuine and accurately graded. This process adds credibility and trust, making collectors more confident in their purchases. A certified 1979 D penny with a rare error or exceptional condition would be far more valuable than an uncertified coin, as it provides assurance of its authenticity. Storage and preservation also play a crucial role in maintaining a coin's value. Coins that are carefully stored in protective holders, away from moisture and environmental damage, are more likely to retain their condition over time. Collectors often invest in specialized storage solutions to ensure that their coins remain in the best possible state, preserving their value for future generations. As we move forward, the story of the 1979 D penny continues to unfold, revealing even more layers of complexity and intrigue. From the technical aspects of minting and grading to the emotional connection that collectors feel toward their coins, every detail contributes to the enduring fascination with this small yet significant piece of history. And the deeper we explore, the more we realize that the true value of a coin is not just measured in dollars, but in the stories it carries and the passion it inspires. As the journey into the 1979 Lincoln set continues, it becomes impossible to ignore the deeper layer of fascination that surrounds coins like this, especially when we begin to explore how collectors actually identify a potentially valuable piece among millions of ordinary ones. Imagine going through a pile of old coins, each one looking almost identical, yet knowing that one tiny detail, something almost invisible to the untrained eye, could transform a simple one-cent coin into a collector's dream. This is where patience, knowledge, and experience come into play, and it is exactly this process that makes coin collecting so addictive and rewarding. Collectors often begin by examining the coin under magnification, carefully studying every line, every letter, and every surface detail. On the 1979 penny, they look closely at Lincoln's portrait, checking for sharpness in the hair details, the clarity of the facial features, and the presence of any unusual doubling. Even the smallest distortion in the lettering, such as in the words, "Liberty," or "In God We Trust," can signal a double die error, which instantly increases the coin's desirability. On the reverse side, attention shifts to the Lincoln Memorial, where collectors inspect the columns, the steps, and the tiny figure of Lincoln inside, searching for irregularities that could indicate a rare variety. Lighting also plays a critical role in this process. By tilting the coin under a light source, collectors can observe how the light reflects off the surface, revealing luster, texture, and any hidden imperfections. A coin with strong, original luster will have a distinctive shine that moves across the surface as it is tilted, almost like a wave of light. This effect is highly valued because it indicates that the coin has not been heavily circulated or cleaned, both of which can reduce its value significantly. Speaking of cleaning, this is one of the biggest mistakes that beginners make when they first discover old coins. It might seem logical to clean a coin to make it look more attractive, but in reality, cleaning can cause permanent damage to the surface, removing the natural patina and leaving behind scratches or unnatural shine. For a 1979 penny, especially one that might have collectible value, cleaning can drastically reduce its worth. Experienced collectors always emphasize the importance of leaving coins in their original condition, as authenticity and preservation are far more valuable than artificial appearance. Now, let's explore another layer of intrigue surrounding this coin, and that is the idea of hidden treasure still in circulation. It might sound surprising, but even today, decades after the 1979 penny was minted, there is still a chance that rare variations or high-grade examples are sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or even pocket change. This possibility keeps collectors constantly searching, checking every coin they come across, because the next discovery could be something truly special. There have been countless stories in the numismatic world where individuals stumbled upon valuable coins purely by chance. Someone might receive a handful of change from a store, casually glance at a penny, and notice something unusual, only to later discover that it is worth far more than its face value. These stories fuel the excitement and keep the hobby alive, reminding everyone that treasure can be found in the most unexpected places. The 1979 penny also holds significance as part of a broader collection. Many collectors aim to complete sets of Lincoln cents, spanning decades or even more than a century. Within these collections, each coin represents a specific year and mint, contributing to a complete historical timeline. The 1979 penny becomes one piece of this larger puzzle, connecting the past to the present and showcasing the evolution of coin design and production over time. In addition to individual collectors, there is also a growing interest from investors who see rare coins as an alternative form of investment. Unlike traditional assets, coins have a unique combination of historical value, artistic appeal, and tangible presence. A rare 1979 penny with exceptional characteristics could, in theory, appreciate over time as demand increases and supply remains limited. This blend of history and investment potential adds another dimension to the coin's appeal. Another fascinating aspect is the role of storytelling in determining a coin's value. A coin that comes with a documented history, such as being part of a famous collection or discovered under unique circumstances, can carry an added premium. Collectors are not just buying a piece of metal, they are buying a story, a connection to the past, and a piece of history that they can hold in their hands. For a 1979 penny to reach an extraordinary value like $217 million, it would likely need an incredible story behind it, something that sets it apart as truly one of a kind. As we continue to peel back the layers, we also begin to understand how global the coin collecting community really is. Enthusiasts from different parts of the world connect through auctions, online platforms, and collector forums, sharing knowledge, trading coins, and discussing discoveries. A rare 1979 penny found in one part of the world could attract attention from collectors across continents, highlighting the universal appeal of these small yet meaningful objects. And then, there is the emotional aspect, something that cannot be measured in dollars. For many collectors, coins like the 1979 penny represent memories, connections, and personal journeys. It might remind someone of their childhood, when they first started collecting coins, or of a family member who passed down a collection. These emotional connections add depth to the hobby, making it about more than just value or rarity. As the story of the 1979 penny continues to unfold, it becomes clear that its true significance lies not only in its potential monetary worth, but in the layers of history, craftsmanship, and human curiosity that surround it. Every detail, from the tiny mint mark to the intricate design, contributes to a narrative that has been evolving for decades, and as we move further, there is still so much more to uncover about what makes this coin so captivating and endlessly intriguing. And as we reach the final stretch of this journey, everything about the 1979 Lincoln cent begins to come together in a way that feels almost poetic, because what started as a simple 1-cent coin now reveals itself as a powerful symbol of history, rarity, human curiosity, and the endless pursuit of hidden value. By now, you can almost picture someone holding this coin, turning it slowly under the light, wondering if this small, ordinary object could actually be something extraordinary, something that carries a story far greater than its size suggests. The truth is, for the vast majority of 1979 pennies, their market value remains very close to their face value, or perhaps slightly higher depending on condition. A typical circulated coin might be worth just a few cents, and even uncirculated examples, while more desirable, usually sell for modest amounts compared to rare collector coins. But what makes this coin so captivating is not what most of them are worth. It is what a very rare few could be worth under extraordinary circumstances. The idea of a $217 million valuation is not about the average coin you find in your pocket, but about the extreme edge of possibility in the world of numismatics. It represents the kind of coin that would have to break all expectations, a coin with a unique error, perfect preservation, historical importance, or a combination of factors so rare that it becomes legendary. These are the coins that collectors dream about, the ones that turn into stories told for generations, the kind that appear in headlines and redefine what people believe is possible. And this is where the real magic lies, because the 1979 penny teaches us something much bigger than just coin collecting. It reminds us that value is not always obvious. Sometimes, the most overlooked things hold the greatest potential. Sometimes, something that seems completely ordinary can, under the right circumstances, become priceless. This idea extends far beyond coins, touching on the way we see the world, the way we value objects, and even the way we value moments in our own lives. For collectors, the hunt never truly ends. Every coin examined, every detail inspected, Every discovery made adds to the excitement. The 1979 penny becomes part of that endless search, a reminder that there is always something more to learn, something more to find. Even today, there could be undiscovered variations, hidden errors, or pristine examples waiting quietly in someone's collection, completely unknown to the world. And imagine this for a moment. Somewhere, in a forgotten jar of old coins, or tucked away in a drawer, there could be a 1979 penny that has never been closely examined, never been graded, never been recognized for what it truly is. It could pass from one person to another, unnoticed, until one day someone decides to take a closer look, and in that moment, everything changes. That is the thrill, the possibility that keeps collectors searching, the idea that history is not just something in the past, but something that can still be discovered. As the light fades on this story, what remains is a deeper appreciation for something so small yet so meaningful. The 1979 Lincoln cent is more than just a coin, it is a piece of time, a fragment of history that has traveled through hands, through years, through countless moments, carrying with it a silent story that only reveals itself to those who are willing to look closely. So the next time you come across a simple penny, don't rush to ignore it. Hold it for a second longer, look at the details, feel its weight, notice its design, because you never truly know what you might be holding. It could just be another coin, or it could be something far more rare, far more valuable, and far more fascinating than you ever imagined. And maybe, just maybe, that tiny coin in your hand is not ordinary at all, but the beginning of a discovery that could change everything.